What is up, YouTube? It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another sequel prequel month. And tonight, yes, we get to the second sequel in this franchise. We get to Superman 3, the 1983 underrated, film that a lot of people crap on. I don't understand because I thought this was the last good Superman movie for a long time, especially because, we wouldn't get another one for a couple years. And then after that, we had to wait till the 2000s to get another one. But this one I never hated. I always liked this movie. I know they say, oh, Superman's barely in the movie. I like that it was more comedic because it's kind of like Batman Forever. It took the first two Supermans were more serious and they had a lighter tone to it, but this one they wanted to make it, more comedic because you had a big name actor, Richard Pryor, who was in the film. He has a major role in the film and he got paid a crap ton of money so he could be in the movie. And I think he does a good job. I don't think he's horrible in the movie. He's not like Kevin Hart that he's unfunny. He serves the film's purpose. He's the tech guy. I get it. But Christopher Reeve does a great job in this movie. He has to play two roles, as Superman and as Clark Kent, and also he has a pseudo villain Superman, an evil Superman, which is different from the first two films and definitely part four. And it's a different twist. There's a lot going on in this movie. I know it, but it doesn't have to cram everything in. Like Lois is underused in this movie so that they can make way for Lana Lang, who I thought was great. Annette O'Toole is gorgeous in this movie. I've always thought she was a beautiful woman. She has amazing eyes and this soft voice and this long flowing hair. Michael McKean is a very lucky man to be married to her for so many years. She's a gorgeous woman. I've always appreciated her being on film, and she does a good job with the role. She has a son that gets into trouble. Of course, so Superman has to save him because there's the what was it, those that gardening machine that's cutting the grass. I forgot what it was called, but that thing almost kills him. He has to save him, just like he saved the little boy in the second movie. You have Jimmy Olsen. I think he gets caught in a fire in this one. You have these three villains, which, yeah, three villains, because Gus is really more like an anti-hero. He's just a tech guy. Um, you have Robert Vaughn, who I love that actor. He's Napoleon Solo in Man from Uncle, the TV series, not that god awful movie with Henry Cavill last year. You have Pamela Stevenson, who's one of the most gorgeous blondes I've ever seen in this movie. She has this squeaky voice. She's basically what I wish Harley Quinn was in Suicide Squad. Cutesy, sexy, but not shoved in my face. And she wasn't crazy either. She has her moments. I think Pamela Stevenson, it's sad that she's no longer an actress because I really enjoyed her in this. This is what I remember her for. And then you have the older woman playing the other villain who at the end becomes a cyborg. It's pretty awesome. It's silly because she gets grabbed into this machine and then she's like, ah! And then I know that's silly, but it looks awesome. It's not CGI badness like in Terminator Genesis, which looked like shit, the effects in that. Here, the effects still look great. For the early 80s, it's a wonder. There are good action sequences in this movie. The scene where Superman is flying and they're shooting missiles at him near the end, or when he's fighting a computer, that was something different. Oh, there's no Lex Luthor in this movie. Lex Luthor was in Superman 4 and it sucked. He was in Man of Steel. Well, actually, no, scratch that. He was in BVS and he sucked. If it was his son, no matter, he sucked. Okay, here they had a new villain. It was something different. They went in a different direction. I like that. I know my friend doesn't care for this movie. I get it. Okay, it's more comedic, but it doesn't lose its flavor. It's still a Superman movie. Lester still has that feel. At least he did better with Superman 2 and 3 than that dumbass that made part 4. And he didn't take it super serious like Zack Snyder did with Man of Steel. I'm sorry, I'd rather see this than Man of Steel. It's still fun. It's under 2 hours long. It doesn't feel like it drags. The subplot where they give him this kryptonite that they don't know what the final ingredient is, so Gus puts tobacco inside of the fake kryptonite. He gives it to Superman as a gift to thank him for his all of his service, and then he becomes evil. And this is how I buy Superman not giving a shit, being a villain. Uh, not trying to save people and blowing out the torch for the Olympics and straightening the Tower of Pisa. I remember this movie. I remember it more than MOS. I'm sorry, it's more memorable to me. It's a movie I grew up with, so I have a huge attachment to it. and I think it's underrated. I don't think it's the worst sequel ever made. Give me a break. You critics can suck a dick. You think that third installments have to be like the grittiest, and yet you get movies that usually the third installment sucks. Here, I don't think it sucks. I think it goes in a different direction. It's a fun movie still. It's not boring. There's a lot going on. I didn't need the same thing from the first two films. It went in a new direction, and you added Lana, and you added new villains, and you have Richard Pryor. He's trying his best, and he does a good job of what he's given. And I think him and Christopher Reeve have a good on-screen chemistry. I don't think it's forced in there. And it's a it's a good looking movie. Like it's an '80s film, and it looks it. The whole opening when it's comedic. They're looking at this Pamela Stevenson's ass because she's walking, in this beautiful white and polka dot dress, and guys are looking at her. I can't blame them. I cannot blame them. And then everything is getting knocked down. It starts like a comedy. I'm fine with it. It went in a different direction. I'm fine with it being silly. It doesn't have to be dark or gritty and try to make you feel something like other than just discuss. Anyway, Superman does save someone in the beginning of the film. There's someone drowning in the car and he gets them out. Hey, he does his job in this movie. And when he becomes evil, when he punches through that oil tanker, that was awesome. I thought that was badass. He punches right through it, rips it open, all the oil comes out, and then it falls into the ocean. He's just a badass in this movie as a villain. And then the fight with him and Clark, when they split apart and they're fighting in the junkyard, that's one of the most memorable scenes I remember. I remember Clark getting his ass kicked, but then he pushes Superman into some acid and then he blows it on him. See, it's a fight. It's not bad CGI where I can't see what's going on. They're shaking the camera like this. I can see what's going on. And also, I remember when Clark throws the freaking tires on him and he just breaks it open. That is awesome. I don't care what anyone says. That's Superman right there. I would love to see Henry Cavill do that with tires going. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. That's awesome. See, Reeve is my Superman. I keep saying it over and over and over and over and over again. You are never going to replace him, Cavill. Never. Ever, 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 Weber. Never. Ever. Okay? You look like Superman, but you don't act like him. You act like a douchebag because David S. Goyer and Zack Snyder thinks we need a serious, non-Boy Scout Superman. Yeah, that's your Superman now. No, this is my Superman. Okay? Light in tone, bright colors, and even when he becomes evil, we see a different side of him. The scene in the bar, they took that in Supergirl and they homaged it. They didn't steal it like J.J. Abrams does with everything now, with Star Trek and Star Wars. Yeah. Anyway, he takes a bunch of nuts and he destroys the freaking bottles of alcohol. Believe me, I would have done the same thing. I hate alcohol. I don't like drinking it either. And the look on his face is like this, but he has more emotion on his face. Cavill's like this. It looks like he sucked a lemon. It's ridiculous. Give me a break. Also, I like his relationship when he's Clark, and he has great chemistry with Lana Lang. I think Annette O'Toole and Christopher Reeve have a really good spark. They're like star-crossed lovers. It's very sweet, and it's not forced on your throat. It's not like Twilight where I'm bored to death and I'm like, please let this end, please let this end, please let this end. And I'm passionate about this movie. I've never hated this movie. I think the action's well done. It has a comedic tone that doesn't bother me. It's not 2.5 hours. It doesn't get boring. Yet a lot happens in it. One flaw I have is that I think Margot Kidder could have been cut out of the movie. Just save her till the end of the film, or just not have her in the film at all because she seems like she's just there to be there. She's not really. She doesn't service the plot at all. She doesn't do anything except she sees. There's a scene where Superman finds a block, a rock, and he crushes it with his hands. He finds a diamond and he makes a ring out of it, and then Clark gives it to Lana. That's very sweet. And then when Lana shows her the ring to Lois, she said, "I can't believe it when Clark gave it to me." And she's like, "Clark gave that to you?" And see, it's human beings. They're not people talking like with the Nolan Ray, where they're like, "This is the most important thing in your life. Oh my God, my story, how I'm gonna get it." I don't need that for every DC movie. This DC, here's a tip for you guys. Don't make everything dark and gritty. It only works with Batman. It doesn't work with the Man of Steel. It doesn't work with the Suicide Squad. It doesn't work for any of your other characters. Dark and gritty only works for Batman. Arrow works because they borrow from Batman. That's why that works. But here, you need a lighthearted tone. But don't mix dark with happiness because it doesn't work. It's like a bipolar movie. Know what you are. This movie knows what it is, and I appreciate it for that. Lester wasn't trying to make Batman Begins or The Dark Knight Rises. He was making more like a Batman Forever, which I'm fine with. If it entertains me, it does, and this movie entertains me. I don't have it because I had it on VHS, recorded on tape, and I watched it many times on TV. And it still has that triumphant music. I don't care who did the score. If it's that Superman theme, I love it. Whether it was John Williams or whoever or wannabe, if it's the music, I love it, no matter what it is. That's majestic, man. You cannot do better than that. I'm sorry. What's his face that did the score for Man of Steel? It wasn't Hans Zimmer. You've done better than this. Come on now. We need triumph. We need lightheartedness. We need the Superman to come back. That's we're getting that in Supergirl in season 2, so I'm not concerned about that. But in this movie, I think Christopher Reeve is awesome. I think the movie is a lot of fun. It has a lot of merit to it. A lot of people didn't see the fun. They're like, oh, this is comedic, it's stupid. Let's just shut it down. No, I enjoy this film. I think it's very underrated. It's like Gremlins 2. It didn't deserve the backlash it got. I don't think it's horrible. Even if Superman was in this movie for 5 minutes, the evil Superman plot worked for me. It was something different. It wasn't just Lex Luthor and Land again. It wasn't just another Zod again. It wasn't just another villain, a Lex Luthor's son again. We don't need that. We need something different. Something different doesn't always equal bad. It proves it in this film. That ray that they use again in his Superman against a computer at the end. He fights this computer that has a laser beam that shoots out kryptonite, the real kryptonite, and it weakens him. See, it's a moment of weakness. He's not overpowered like someone else I saw last year. Winkety wink wink. And it has a lot of heart to it. I know a lot of people say this movie sucks. I don't care. I'm not a lot of people. I'm me, and I'm giving my opinion on Superman 3. I don't think it deserves to be. It's not as bad as like Ninja Turtles 3 or a freaking Karate Kid 3. It doesn't make your lead character weak. It actually still gives him a lot of what's it called it credibility. You know, and it works. And I think it's an underrated sequel. And there's a lot in it I can't talk about because I would be here for like 30 minutes, and I don't want to bore you guys to tears. But I like Superman 3. I never hated it. I will never get the hate. Don't get it. I'm sorry. I need to see it again. It's been way too long. I have it recorded on El Rey Network, so I'm going to watch it sometime. And I want to remember that this is nostalgia that works for me. Watching a movie I watched when I was a kid that I enjoyed and watch it over and over again. Not make a new movie where the new Superman is just some pretentious asshole that is so serious. I'm like, sorry, Christopher Nolan slash David S. Goyer slash Zack Snyder, you can't make Superman into Batman. He is not the same as Batman. He's not. Sorry. Batman makes his gadgets and he doesn't even fly. And he's brooding because he lost his parents. Superman lost his entire planet. I get it. He's in pain. You don't have to show that in every movie. Here, he doesn't. There's one scene that sums up everything that's much better than any acting Cavill's done as Superman. When the evil Superman is hearing the voice of Lana's son, and he's like, he could barely fly. He's getting weakened. He goes to the junkyard and he goes, ah! I get it. See, that's enough for me. You don't need 2 hours of brooding. That is enough pain to see Superman go through. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see it for 2 hours. 5 seconds of him screaming to the heavens and doing like this. That's good acting right there. It's emotion. It's not sourpuss. I don't need that anymore. I'm tired of that. I need less serious characters and more fun characters. Like those people right there. Yeah. I said it, or it's right behind me, or the other one's right behind me. Ultron had his silly moments, but when he was serious and shit was going down, you know what was happening. You knew you took him seriously. That's what I want. I take the villains seriously in this movie because they're actually good actors. I like Pamela Stevenson. I like Robert Vaughn. I always have. I think he's a really good actor. Even the old lady, I don't remember her name, but she does a good job of what she's given. And it's there's a lot of fun in this movie. I never understood why people said it's a joke, it's a cartoon. It's fun. I don't understand what's the problem. I don't. It's flawed, but it's not the worst sequel I've ever seen. That's coming in the next one. Oh my god. But anyway, Superman 3 is good. Don't listen to the critics. See 1, see 2, and then give 3 a chance. I would just bet my money that this is better than any sequel of Man of Steel is going to do. And I'm not talking about BBS. I'm saying a solo Superman film. If they made him lighter and he's smiling and flying in the air, maybe I will give him another chance. But until I see that, I don't want this sourpuss Superman face. That's not for me. Sorry. I need more lighthearted. Groot smiled at the end of Guardians, and he's a little stick. Okay, if he can do it, then so can the Man of Steel. And there is no excuse for Warner Brothers or DC anymore. There is no excuse. Batman is the only brooding guy you need. That's it. End the story. Anyway, that's my review for Superman 3. I took a long time, I know. It's a good sequel. I don't think it's horrible. Give me a break. There's some dumb things in it. The scene where Gus gets drunk. I get that. But there's a lot of good in it. I do see a lot of good in almost everything, and this one especially. But anyway, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting. You guys are awesome. The next review is going to be the real turd, the worst of the original 4 films, and that is Superman 4: The Quest for Shit. I mean, The Quest for Peace. Yeah. Get ready, because that's going to be an epic rant tomorrow. I guarantee it. But anyway, thanks for watching and take care. See you later.